Hey everybody, it's Carson Gordy, the Champaign sports anchor for Fox Illinois. And in Illinois basketball, they're back to being good. Last Tuesday, they traveled to take on their rival, the Indiana Hoosiers, and they whipped them 94-69. They got to face their former teammate Luke Goody, who transferred to the Hoosiers after last season. And they just couldn't get anything manufactured. And Illinois jumped out to a 60-32 first half lead. And by halftime, the fans had enough. A lot of them left, and they even started to chant about their head coach, Mike Woodson.
Fire Woodson! Fire Woodson! Fire Woodson!
And as somebody that went to Illinois, this is a especially satisfying win. You know, in the 1980s, there was big games between Bobby Knight and Lou Henson. In Indiana each year, even though they aren't competing for national titles, it's still a big brand, and they were actually Big Ten preseason favorites to win the conference. But Illinois, they looked faster, stronger, and I think one of the most important things that Illinois had was offensive structure. Kasparas Jakučionis came back after missing 2 games with a left forearm injury. They didn't need him against Penn State. They still beat Penn State by 39, but you saw against the USC Trojans, when you have your NBA lottery pick playing, you're a better team. When Illinois took on USC, they were 13-point favorites. They were supposed to dominate the Trojans, even without KJ, and they actually lost by 10 points. And Brad Underwood, he said there was too much dribbling. Players are playing outside their roles, and pretty much they just played like crap.
Great question for them. I'm still trying to figure that out. I've just said it was a one-off. We were awful. Energy, emotion, attention to detail. You know,
what KJ did was bring back structure. You knew who the point guard was, and you knew you had a guy that could score. He had 19 points in the first half. He added 5 assists. And what's nice about KJ, you know, he's going to make his open 3-point shots, but when it's not given to him pretty, you know, he can create his own magic. He can score off the dribble, go down low, and get an easy 2. After the game, Kasparas was asked, you know, what was it like being able to come back after missing Penn State and USC?
So I don't like that, to be honest. I want to play, I want to help my team win, and I want to practice and get better. So that's basically my life, you know. And without able to play these 2 last games, I was, let's say, a little bit frustrated that I couldn't help the team.
And if you're looking at these NBA draft projections, I mean, Jakučionis, I hate to spoil it for Illinois fans, he will not be in college next year. This guy will be in the NBA. You know, if you look at The Athletic, when you look at Bleacher Report, when you look at all these mock drafts, he ranges from 3 to 6. And unfortunately for KJ, you know, he's not getting drafted by the 1980 Lakers, not getting drafted by the 1990 Bulls. He's going to go to a team that is rebuilding, and they're going to count on him to be the point guard to try to bring them back into the postseason. Luckily, you're going to be on probably not a great team, but he's going to be making $6 to $8 million his first year. I'll take it.
I don't know how to describe him. He's one of the smartest people I know. He's very competitive, beyond his years, you know, in terms of that. But
and obviously with Indiana, once KJ was back and it looked like he was a full go, the Hoosiers didn't have a chance to beat them. Illinois, they're one of the top-ranked teams in Ken Pom. Indiana's really struggling. They're probably going to miss the NCAA tournament. But just in general, just take KJ out. They played a lot better than they did against USC. We especially saw it on the defensive end with rim protection. You know, against USC, they weren't shooting 3-pointers. They were just cutting up Tomasaj Ivicic and Merez Johnson inside for easy layups and dunks. Against Indiana, you know, it looked like a better product. I thought they shot a little bit better. You know, I know Illinois' 3-point percentage against Indiana wasn't great. It was only 11 of 32. But you saw Kylan Boswell. He did a really good job of getting to the rim and getting those free throw attempts. You saw Ben Hummerkaus. He's becoming more diversified. You know, we saw a little bit of booty ball, you know, against Marcus Dumask. And we also saw him cut to the basket, which resulted in a pretty good dunk.
Me to KJ to Will to Draco to Tom, like Ben, Jake, you can't really, it's hard to guard us. And we all can make plays for one another. Nobody has selfishness problems or nothing. So everybody just, guys open, we throw it, and we're making our shots. It's just hard for anyone to guard us.
And I think the biggest thing that was huge for this Illinois team was rebounding. You know, when you're able to get rebounds, first of all, you can either end their offensive possession, you know, the opposing team, or you get second chance opportunities. Which
rebound's always an emphasis. Rebound's always an emphasis. I'm going to write rebounding on the board 100 times before every game. I'm going to talk about it every single day. I'm going to do 10 rebounding drills every single day. and it's just goes hand in hand with winning, in my opinion.
And there's starting to be some chaos in this Big Ten standings. Illinois is 5-2 in Big Ten play, and they were 2 losses away from first place because Michigan and Michigan State were both undefeated. But the Michigan Wolverines, they actually lost yesterday. They lost to the Minnesota Golden Gophers, who were 0-5 in Big Ten play. Michigan, they're out of the rankings, and they're going to drop down the Big Ten standings. So it looks like Michigan State, is going to be the top competitor for Illinois if they want to win this Big Ten regular season battle. And that's their next game. They got to travel to East Lansing on Sunday and take on Tom Izzo. They look rejuvenated. They look really good. We've seen with Michigan State, though, they don't have the greatest resume besides a win against 12-6 North Carolina and a win over 10-7 Ohio State. There's not much to show. Some of their best Big Ten wins are schools like Penn State. And I've seen it on social media. A lot of people are saying that Michigan State hasn't played anybody, so maybe Illinois is a really good shot. I don't disagree. I think Illinois can win, but you have to respect what the analytics are saying about Michigan State and also their margin of victory. If you look at Ken Pom, Michigan State's got a top 10 defense in the country, and they're top 15 overall. Look at the net rankings. They're one of the highest Big Ten teams. And they're also going to be playing in East Lansing. And this is going to be Tom Izzo's best team he's had in 5 years. Since the COVID-19 pandemic, they haven't really had a really good point guard, and that's kind of held back the offense. Remember last year they had Hogard, and they were not as fast-paced, and they weren't making enough shots, and maybe there was chemistry issues. They look like the Harlem Globetrotters. I mean, they look incredible. We're seeing a bunch of slam dunks from guys like Cohen Carr. We're seeing good transfers like Fiddler from Omaha. He's been able to score in the post a little bit, and he's adding a little bit of a three-point shot. And they also got another guy, Jeremy Fears. This was a guy that Illinois actually was recruiting pretty hard, and he wanted to go to U of I, but Illinois took Sky Clark instead. And he's been really good for the Michigan State Spartans this year. Didn't play a lot last year because he was shot in the leg back in his hometown in Joliet. But he's looking good, man. He's averaging 8 points per game and getting a bunch of assists. He's the facilitator they need to get these Michigan State athletes in space. And I've kind of mentioned this a little bit, but Michigan State is one of the worst three-point shooting teams in the country. They don't attempt a lot, and they don't make a lot. I mean, they only make 28%, but they still play with a very fast tempo, and they're still scoring around 80 points per game. So bottom line, this is going to be a huge game for our centers, Tomsa Ivicic and Merez Johnson to protect the rim. If you can force Michigan State to shoot those gross mid-range twos, those tough shots, their offense is really going to struggle. Because I don't know if Michigan State's really capable of making 15 out of 33 pointers like what Illinois did against Oregon or Arkansas. They want to get to the rim. They want alley-oops. They want dunks. They want to score quick. And we've seen there has been some issues with Michigan State, with Illinois' rim protection. I mean, the USC Trojans just absolutely cut up Illinois last Saturday. Even the Oregon Ducks in the first half, most of their offensive points came from attacking the rim. And Ivicic, he's a big guy. He's not your traditional Kofi Coburn. I mean, the guy likes to shoot three-pointers, but, definitely he's going to need a good defensive day against Michigan State. And if he's not performing, don't be surprised if you see if you see Merez Johnson coming in and getting a lot more action. He's been incredible so far as a freshman. And I think one of the keys to the game for Illinois is if you make your three-point shots, it's going to be really hard for them to keep up in this game, Michigan State. If Illinois can get this game in the 95, 94 point total, I don't know if Michigan State can really keep up. It's also going to be big to win the rebounding battle. These are two programs that both average over 40 rebounds a game. Tom Izzo, back in the early 2000s, 1990s, he used to have his players wear football pads during rebounding drills. That's always been a big emphasis. And same with Illinois. Brad Underwood loves rebounding because it gives you second chance opportunities on offense, or it can also kill drives for the other team. And this is the kind of game throughout the record books. ESPN's going to say that Michigan State's going to be slightly favored. I do think they'll probably be like a 2.5, a 3.5 point favorite, but that's well inside the margin of error. If you look at advanced analytics, Illinois is the highest rated team in the Big Ten. I mean, they're top 10 in net ranking, top 10 in Ken Pom. Playing in East Lansing against Tom Izzo, that's no joke. And even if Michigan State does win this game, and that would drop Illinois to around 5-3 in Big Ten play, that would maybe keep them out of winning a Big Ten regular season title. But I think Illinois's got bigger fish to fry. When you look at the NCAA tournament, They don't just look at who wins their conference, who has the best conference record. They're looking at advanced analytics. So if Illinois just takes care of business, throughout the rest of the year, if they win the games they're supposed to, they beat Michigan State at home, they do well in the Big Ten tournament, this is going to be a team that's going to be a top 4 seed and have a very favorable path to make that Sweet 16 once again.
I feel like we did really well today, bouncing back. Just try to carry this momentum. Coach has been preaching that, just continuously moving momentum. When we go there, though, we know it's going to be a tough one. This is why we came to school like this, to play at East Lansing over at Michigan State, so it would be a pretty good environment for us.
Well, I'm Carson Gordy. Thank you for watching, and keep watching Fox Illinois News Channel 20 and continue to get updates about this Illinois basketball program. They're 13-4, huge win against Indiana. They want to keep that momentum going and knock off the Big Ten frontrunner, the Michigan State Spartans. I'm Carson Gordy. Have a good day. Thank you for watching, and make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. Be sure to watch more videos from Fox Illinois.